Another Wood Elf replay, this one from Wags versus Manfred G11. Or is it Manfred 11? Oh, I don't know. The world may never know. Wood Elves versus Brett. King Lewin versus generic caster of some kind. As the loading screen threw off my timing a bit, because it took a while. It's a high caster. Interesting. Apotheosis for some heals, Tempest for damaging Lewin, and the Hippogriff Knights. I like it. It's cool. For the rest of the Wood Elf army, we have Great Stag Knights, 4 Glade Riders with Spears, 2 War Dancers with Azrai Spears, 4 Glade Guard, all with Starfire Shafts for that armor-piercing fire damage. The fire damage will reduce healing, and then Eternal Guard Shields for a frontline. Pretty straightforward. On the side for Bretonnia, we have 3 Knights Errant, one of which is the Regiment of Renown, Defenders of Fleur-de-Lis, Royal Hippogriff Knights and King Lewin up in the sky, a front line of men-at-arms and peasants with 1 Footsquire, 2 Field Trebuchets, a Damsel of Beasts with all of her spells, which is always a mistake. You never want to take all your spells on a caster. It makes them way more expensive than you'll ever get to use. We do have 1 Mounted Yeoman in the distance. Alright. We are off. Trebuchet is actually getting a scary amount of value onto these Blade Guard. What the hell? It's kind of insane. First of many Tempests is coming in for Lewin. Slows him down a bit, just does some nice damage. If he pops his Lion's Shield, he'll take 40% less damage from spells and missiles. But he's not going to pop it in time, so he does take a bunch of damage from all these archers and all this stuff. Meanwhile, Tony gets a great engagement on the sides. Glade Riders, 2 of them are already pushed off, and now the War Dancers with their Azrai Spears are joining, so the Bretonnians need to back off. Don't want to sit and grind with these War Dancers for very long. The Wood Elf front line is engaging. They should win, especially with Archer support. Oh god, but Lewin's in there. Now the Lion's Shield is popped, giving him 40% missile resistance, plus his 15% ward safe. Plus another 15% missile resistance. Yes, wow, he is very resistant to all his archer fire, but he's still taking a lot of damage. And Great Stag Knights are even going to charge him. Lewin, this is overbold, my friend. Overbold indeed. Beastcaster was trying to summon a Manticore. It looks like it's not really going her way, and Lewin is going to be routed off. But man, the Trebs are getting a lot of damage while this is going down. It looks like maybe 2 Glade Guard are going to rout off. War Dance with Azrai Spears actually didn't fare as well as I thought. Maybe while we weren't looking, there was some cycle charging happening. But yeah, they took a lot of damage. And a downhill charge from the Knights Errant going to plow through these unbraced spears. And if your spears aren't braced, then they're no better than basic infantry, I'm afraid. Wood Elf still trying to churn through this front line. It's taking them a little bit. Manticore Summon is out for the Beastcaster, who's now the focus fire of all of these archers. Great Stag Knights and Glade Riders trying to chase Lewin, but they give him a bit of space because they got attack orders onto these mounted yeomen. Oh, so they're just going to let Lewin fly away. That is a mistake that will come back to haunt them. As we get a weird circle fight around the rock. Everyone fight around the rock. It's very important you fight around the rock. Another Tempest trying to poke down Lewin. We know his Lion Shield is on cooldown, so can't mitigate that damage at all. And archers are once again firing, though. This time they're firing at the Knights Errant, and they're just letting the Trebs shoot at them. There we go. We get some Glade Riders running into the backfield to finally shut down those Trebs. Once and for all. Should be able to kill both of them. There's nothing back there to stop you from doing that. Bretonnians are coming back from their victorious fight on the flanks. Hippogriffs attempting to dive onto the Glade Guard, as Lewin also does. He'll immediately tear out those guys as he lands on their rears, and they haven't been tear outed for a while. But a countercharge from the Great Stag Knights might do a lot of damage to his Royal Hippogriff Knights. Panzerpantral Pelt giving Lewin an impressive 74 melee defense, plus his Scroll of Shielding even more ward save, so he is a tanky boy right now. And the Hippogriffs are stuck fighting the Great Stag Knights. They got charged, which is bad for them. They don't enjoy it whatsoever, but otherwise they're normally more than a match for this type of thing. Glade Riders have run off the Trebs. They need to change onto the other Trebs, which looks like they are now, so that'll be a big trade for the Wood Elves. And so far, with the Defenders of Fleur-de-Lis support, the Bretonnian front line is holding for now. There is a bit of a blob of Eternal Guard all getting in each other's way. That shit happens. A 2-for-1 Tempest onto the Royal Hippogriff Knights and Lewin. Great Stag Knights Influenced by the Sword of Corone, just have such low melee stats, they will get ground down by these Royal Hippogriff Knights, but they did hold them in place, and they did get a lot of damage out in the meantime. These hippos are operating without any healing. They didn't bring a life caster, they have a beast caster. Archers trying to fire at the Knights Errant who are on top of them. The other Knights Errant chasing around the Spellweaver of High Magic. I imagine these Glade Guard won't be left online for too much longer. Lewin does not have any healing anymore. He lost his ladies champion because his leadership broke at one point, so that's the Lewin you get. That's the health he has. Knights Errant looks like they dropped their attack orders against someone and then were left standing, so they get charged by Glade Riders and Eternal Guard with shields while getting shot by Starfire Shafts. So that is a brutal loss for Bretonnia. And in the backfield, Knights Errant did come from the frontline fight, abandoning that to take out these Glade Riders who had just been demolishing their back line. But both Trebs had been routed. Now one will rally. We'll see if it even ends up mattering. So Lewin's still awfully low. Glade Guard are trying to punish him a little bit, trying to punish those Hippogriff Knights. This lady's flying back. If she has a Tempest, she can just kill Lewin with the Tempest. No need for melee combat whatsoever. And Eternal Guard and War Dancers are overrunning the back line of Bretonnia, so even if this Treb crew comes back, they can't remount their siege engines. Lewin's flying into some Glade Guard. He does have the Lion Shield active, giving him all those impressive resistances, but it does rout him yet again, and now the Hippogriff Knights are flying in. They take some shots. And the Tempest caster is vibing. Vibing and surviving. Knights Errant charging downhill, runs straight through the War Dancers with Azrai Spears, though they don't do too much impact damage. Neither side really has that many models for the impact damage to matter too much. The Wood Elves still have one archer. They're trying to do it. The enemy still has a pretty healthy caster of beasts, some foot squires, some men-at-arms, so they have a bit of teeth left to them. Glade Riders were allowed back on the backfield, so they can run off all these peasant mobs and Treb crews once again. Wood Elves back up on the balance of power. For a second, another Tempest hits the Royal Hippogriff Knights, who are also getting shot at by Glade Guards. Since Glade Guard have Firewall moving, and they're running in your direction, so they'll shoot at you every so often. And that's good damage. 4 models left for those guys out of their original 12, less than 1,000 HP. The Wood Elves are routing, and the Hippogriff Knights cause terror. Could be a problem for the low leadership Wood Elves, and a Manticore summon in the late game might be coming in clutch. War Dancer's going to rout. For the Wood Elves, it's down to pretty much one Spearman and this Glade Rider. Royal Hippogriff Knights get dove on. They might rout, and then if the Wood Elf Lord focuses on chasing them off, she can delay while the Manticore summon wears out, which the Manticore has not been given any orders, so he's just vibing. He does need to pick a lane. As the last Eternal Guard are routed off by these Foot Squires. Anyway, what I was saying is, if this lady just follows the Royal Hippogriff Knights off, you can wait until the Manticore summon is gone, then she'll be uncontested as the flying single entity. Glade Guard still waiting to fire in. There's some Knights Errant from left field coming in, running into some Withering Fire, and oh, that's nasty. A Tempest onto Lewin, and the rallying Hippogriff Knights is going to hit both of them, and that should kill off Lewin. It should kill off the Hippogriff Knights, and then with both of them dead, leadership spike against Bretonnia. The balance of power should come back into the Wood Elves' favor once this Manticore fades away, which he's now moving, but he has already wasted... Looks like he wasted about a minute and 10 seconds of his minute and a half of existence, so he only got 20 seconds of actual playtime, and he is gone. Now that balance of power rockets right into the favor of the Wood Elves. A lot of men-at-arms aren't feeling it anymore, Mr. Krabs. These spearmen are about to rout. Those normal men-at-arms are about to rout. We still have 2 cavalry. We still have a full health Eagle caster. What can she do? She's actually going for the snipe on the Damsel of Beasts. Nice charge in there from the Glade Riders. Getting decent damage. Now starting to run away. Good Flock of Doom, though. That hits the Glade Guard, and it'll get them to rout, and they even shatter. Ooh, that's tough. Beastcaster getting sniped out is bad, but I imagine these Glade Riders are about to rout, unless they have really good charging, which they do. But if they stayed in combat with those men-at-arms, they would have lost. So they would have routed off. Blade Riders doing their best. They're in a bit of a sandwich, though. They'll take some damage on their way out of this. It took about 150. Not terrible, all things considered. Apotheosis for a different Blade Rider. Huh. Okay. 2 Bretonnian infantry units are routing. Blade Riders could be used to walk them off the battlefield, but a nice Flock of Doom does hit the Blade Riders and the Eternal Guard, but it is a mass rout. Even the Foot Squires are going to get going, and if they get going, then this shit is over, but they're holding on for now. Big dive in from the Eagle Caster. That might get them going. Maybe. Possibly, as the Damsel of Beast is currently getting beat up. The Foot Squires are holding. Now they've broken, and that's going to be it for Bretonnia. If the Foot Squires could have held, maybe they could push back the Blade Riders and then let the other men-at-arms rally and stuff, but that's just not going to be the way things are. GG. GG. Blag's Caster, 2,000 value from all those Tempests. War Dancers are Spears struggling a bit to get their damage value back. Glade Guard with their Starfire Shafts did great. Glade Riders mixed, and Eternal Guard not so great. On the other side, Hippogriff Knights did great, even without healing. Lewin really struggled. Put himself in some bad spots. Foot Squires did amazing. Knights Errant overall did well. Trebuchets overall did well. And then the Men-at-Arms did fine. GG. Roar. Subscribe, yes, yes.